Don't think you're going to come and sell our resources again for cheap for us to sit down and welcome you the next 4 years. It's not going to happen. The people are awake. A huge change is about to come, people. So, politicians, if you think you have power, I am telling you, if 10 million people come together, it's over for you, okay? We are going to get in contact with the military, and we are going to beg the military to stand behind us because we need them. The militaries also need a change. They need to protect a government that is for the people, not a government that is against the people. African people, we do not want to be divided again. We believe in brotherhood and sisterhood, and we will stand for what is right. We do not care about money anymore. We will not accept any bribe from anyone to honor life for our people, to sabotage our people. We will not do that because we have realized that money is not everything. We have realized that you people are taking advantage of us. You do not care about us. You take your girlfriends to Dubai, to all these amazing places. You enjoy yourself. You see your people struggling on the street, sleeping on the street, cleaning the street, working 24/7. And you know that they are suffering, but you don't even help them. Are you not ashamed, African leaders? Where is your heart? Where is the heart that God gave you? Do you have one, African leaders? The corruption is too much, please. Stop selling our resources so cheap. God gave us those resources for a reason. Africa is not a poor continent. The people are poor. The people are poor because of you, African leaders. Because you think about your pocket. And African people, please listen to me. I hope this message gets to you. Please do not vote for any presidential candidate who come and talk rubbish and tell you that he's going to build road. I'm sorry, building road is a normal thing to do as a leader. We need a government that stands with the people, a government that cares for the country, a government that wants to see its people do well. We need a government that has the same common interest as us. Enough is enough. The embarrassment is enough. The racism is enough. The discrimination is enough. The tribalism is enough. We, the people, have decided to put our interests on the side. We have decided to put all this tribalism, religion, and all that aside. We have decided to respect each other's religion and respect each other's culture and come together with the same common interest to make Africa great. And if you, an African leader, if you don't have that interest with us, we will not vote for you. So don't you think in your skull that you're going to come and tell us you're going to build water, electricity, and all those nonsense for us to cast our vote for you. That is not going to happen. And to the old government, the old leaders, please retire and go and enjoy somewhere with your wives. We want young leaders. We do not want any old man from the age of 70 to 90 to come in power. Please take a break. Go to Maldives or something. Go to Seychelles and have a break, for Christ's sake. African people, vote for someone who can help us. Someone who can take full control of the country. Someone who do not need any foreigners to support him. Someone who knows what he's doing. Someone who is fearless. Someone who is bold. Someone who is passionate. Someone who cares. Because it's 2024 and you and I are still suffering. It's 2024 and we are still divided. It's 2024 and all our people all over the world are struggling. So if we don't come together to do what is right, then what is the point to complain about racism? What is the point to complain about discrimination? What is the point to complain about corruption? It is not the government to do anything for us. It's us, the people, that need to stand up against these corrupt leaders and march on the street for them to know that, hey, we are united and you cannot break us. Guys, if you take a stick and you can easily break it, but if you put 20, 30 sticks together, you can never break it. It will be difficult. This is the thing I'm saying about unity. This is my point, people. If we unite, I'm not asking you to come and love me and say hello to me every day. But if we can have the same common interest to make our nation great, I think that we will be on the right path to a good future, to a bright future for our next generation to come and live like kings and queens that we are. And not to suffer like slaves, because that's what we still are. I'm sorry, but if you have gold and diamond on your land and you need somebody to come and take your gold and diamond and give you the owner 10% and they take 90%, are you still not a slave? You are, because you do not know the value of your resources. You do not know. African leaders, enough is enough. Congo, we are coming for you, Congo. Hold on tight. The people are going to march for you. The people are going to scream for you. The people are going to fight for you. And whichever country you are that is struggling, we are coming to be behind you, my sisters and brothers. That is how it should be. And if you are against this message, it means that you are not for unity and we don't need you around. If you think that you know that you are African, but you say you are not African, we don't need you around, sis. We're not going to force anybody to be with us. We're going to call the people that has same common interests as us. You understand? That is what is going to happen now. So Congo, hold on tight. We're not going to sit down for our people to go down. That is impossible. Anywhere that is suffering, any country that is suffering, that has our people there, we are going to support our people. And if you love the message that I'm putting out, please use your platform to continue that same message so that it can reach many people. Stop complaining, African people. Stop pointing fingers at the white man. The white man also wants profit. He's not going to come and take your oil and your gold out of the ground for free. They also need their money. So if you want to make money, you need to build your own refineries. You need to build your own infrastructures. Okay? Thank you. It is time, people. Some of us are frustrated and we are tired. Enough is enough. And anybody who has something to say against what I'm saying, shut up.
In parliament, in all government institutions, arrest all of them. We are tired of corruption. Stop the corruption. We are peaceful. We are not fighting. We are just fighting corruption.
Officer,
stop the corruption. You are supposed to arrest corrupt officials.
Who was getting your money?
We are protecting them. You're protecting the corrupt officials. We are tired of them. Arrest the corrupt people. We are tired of corruption. Arrest the corrupt people. We are tired. We are peaceful. We are not fighting anyone. We are fighting corruption.
Your name.
Corruption.
Your name. Your name. Your name.
Corruption.
Your name.
Corruption. Tell us your name.
Your name. Your name. Your name.
You want to call
March to Parliament!
March to Parliament!
March to Parliament!
March to Parliament!
Say not corruption!
Say no corruption!
Say not corruption!
Say no corruption!
To Uganda,
May God above thee. We have our future in Nigeria.
Stop corruption, stop! Stop corruption, stop! Stop corruption, stop!
We hate corruption. We hate corruption.
Shut up, you. Shut up. Me, I cannot tolerate anybody under me. Once I detect that, out, you go. Because if I tolerate you, I am endangering the system.
Don't trust Museveni. Apart from the allegation that he's your father, you don't know Museveni.
So the way they are taking the country into, they are driving us into the protests. The protests may happen.
Even though if there are some third party inside that they are making them to do the protest, at least it's for their own good.
By the time government on power is not meeting up their obligation to the masses, whenever youth want to protest against what the government is doing, they don't look at what really people are protesting on. They only look at the other side, that the youth or the masses don't know their rights.
The Kenyan youth took to the street last month to protest proposed tax hike by the government. While the protest was predominantly peaceful, tension escalated when the police used tear gas and water cannons against the demonstrators. The situation further deteriorated last week when some protesters stormed parliament, prompting the police to open fire, resulting in dozens of fatalities. The protests have sparked widespread debates on social media, with some theories suggesting that the mobilization of Kenyans across ethnic lines for common economic demands was orchestrated by political figures harboring ethnic grievances. This speculation has only added fuel to the already volatile situation. In the light of this event, Nigeria Anchor News took to the streets of Nigeria to gauge public opinions on the Kenyan protests. Nigerians were asked whether they believe the protests in Kenya were genuinely motivated by the youth's concern over the economic situation, or if they were sponsored by opposition politicians. The responses were mixed. Some Nigerians felt that the protests were a genuine expression of the youth's frustration with the economic conditions in Kenya. Others believed the political figures were behind the mobilization, using economic grievances as a cover for their agenda.
We have a mentality in African countries, anyway. By the time government on power is not meeting up their obligation to the masses, whenever youth want to protest against what the government is doing, they don't look at what really people are protesting on. They only look at the other side, that the youth or the masses don't know their rights. So there will be certain category of people that will sponsor them or tell them their rights. I don't think it's like that. Youth, they are protesting for their rights. The government is supposed to look into their demands and did it. It's not the issue of saying that it's an opposition, it's so this, it's so that.
Now, we've all seen whatever is happening in the world. What had started in Kenya as a peaceful demonstrations just to show the youths were out to show their outcry for good governance and good systems, working systems. Now, we have this lady who has come out to urge Caribbean leaders, and that's including Jamaica, that the leadership should consider the people. The leadership should always put the interest of the people at heart. Now, we are talking about leaders who are elected, then they turn away from the people who elected them. Leaders who came out with so many pledges, they made so many promises to the people, but after they ascended to power, what happened? What changed? They are now prioritizing their friends for jobs. They are now prioritizing their families. They are now looting everything to build empires. Now, what country are we having? What countries are the Caribbean going to have? Now, our leaders should emulate good leadership skills. Our leaders should be the examples that we need. Now, the term leadership means that you are an example, you lead from the front. You be such an exemplary figure that you can even be discussed as an example in a book or in a movie or somewhere in a public rally or in a public participation. But what has happened to our leaders? Now come to Africa, go to Uganda. They have been having one leader for 41 years. That's not the problem, but the problem is, are the systems working? Why should you take almost 70% of your clan members to lead a government? Why should you take a country for 41 years? What is so special about you? What is so special about rigging elections, using a lot of money to be elected? What interest do you have in that position? Why should you use millions of dollars to get elected? And we just know the salary won't amount to that money, even a quarter of that money. What miracles do you want to do with our money? So there are so many questions to be asked, ladies and gentlemen. The black nations are really collapsing, not because they are poor, not because we do not have the resources. It's because we have resources, but we elect the worst to lead us. Now, I really can relate with what this lady is talking about. Make Jamaica work, make the Caribbean work, make Africa work. No one will go to the streets to protest or bring mayhem. We see these things happening. Yesterday it was Nigeria. Do you know why? It's because our systems are no longer working. You have to know someone who knows someone to get a job. You have to bribe to be at an office. That's whatever we are saying no to. Now go look at their offices where these people work. It is full of their families. Even those who are less qualified. This is whatever we are saying no to. We are not bringing any discomfort to our government. We are just airing out. Jamaicans want to be heard. Africans want to be heard. The Caribbeans want to be heard. Our elected leaders are tone deaf. They hike taxes whenever they feel like, because at the end we pay for everything, their houses, their vehicles, everything is taxpayers' money. That's whatever we are advocating for. We are advocating for end to bad governance. This lady really talks. You don't need to sell our properties. You don't need to do shit to be in power. Stay your 4 years. Stay your 5 years. When they're out, go tell the people I did this and allow me to go to retirement. That's how good leadership should be. Go see whatever Mandela did and learn from that. Thank you so much. I appreciate.